In last video, we talked about the Ngondro and the preliminary practice in Vajrayana, and we somehow talked a little bit about the prostration. And so this time we will talk a little bit more about the Dorje Sempa. And before I start Dorje Sempa, just I'd like to share with you that the prostration and the Dorje Sempa, and then what else we have here? The Guru Yoga, and then the Mandala. So here the four, and with the prostration we have refuge. And yesterday in the retreat here, in the Repa retreat, so I just shared with him some of friends asked me why this is preliminary practice and what are we preparing for, like doing 100,000 prostration and 100,000 of recitation of the refuge, and then like a mandala and all this, they heard it was preparing for the Mahamudra. And some friends asked me what is connection with the Mahamudra and all this Ngondro, all this 100,000, this and this and that. And what I told them or shared with them that Mahamudra simply means that in a state of union, in a state of non-duality, state of dharmakaya, where all of us experience this purest state of mind, that the most purest clear light of our inner, the awakening state of awareness. So if you look at from the body, the channel, wind and bindu point of view, which we call Tsalung Tigle, so here what you can see is that in the central channel, as I told you in the first video, that there's a karmic wind and the karmic central channel, the life force wind, karmic central channel, and the wisdom wind. So let's focus on this karmic central channel, where there's the white bindu and the red bindu, forefinger below the navel. So in the Vajrayana, what we say, see, the cause of the samsara is duality, and because of the duality, so we are not understanding or not recognizing the truth. The truth is non-duality. So the ignoring of not knowing the reality of non-duality. So that is what normally we explain in general kind of teaching. But if you look at from the channel wind point of view, the bindu point of view, so in the karmic central channel, there is a white and red bindu are separate. Because of this karmic wind is kind of pushing that both of the white bindu and red bindu as a separate. It's almost like a north pole and south pole. It's totally in a two different directions. So now what you can understand here is that the causing our kind of consciousness is experiencing duality in the outer world because of the inner, this that karmic central channel, white bindu, red bindu, has been kind of separate in karmic central channel. And when people talk about the great perfection, the Dzogchen and the Mahamudra, Mahamudra simply means try to bring this red bindu and white bindu in a heart chakra, so make it union. So that is the whole idea of Mahamudra, or the great perfection. So the Maha, that the great seal, so the two white and red bindu is sealing the complete of the seal, or the complete of the journey of that great, what we call great perfection. So now what we understand here, in order to bring this white bindu and two bindu, which is Mahamudra, that is Mahamudra, that is great perfection, that is Dharmakaya, that is Buddha nature, that is state of non-duality, the union. And that is the symbol of this, the kind of male Buddha and female Buddha in the union. It's a symbolic union of red bindu and white bindu, which is the state of actually the Mahamudra, or the great perfection. So now we have approximately some idea what is Mahamudra. Simply means the state, the union of red bindu and white bindu in the channel, and that state there's no karmic karmic central channel, and there's no karmic force. There's only Dharmakaya remain. There's no white bindu, red bindu as a separate, and there's no kind of karmic central channel. So this is clear now. So once we understand what is Mahamudra or great perfection, now what we have to understand, how this Ngondro is preparing for this journey. Because see, the white bindu and red bindu is not that like, okay, now come down. The white bindu you come down, red bindu you go up. So it is not that easy, because many lifetime kind of imprinted, and then the karmic kind of force is pulling them so strongly. So in order to bring them down, first of all, because see, first of all, we have to work with all the channels, especially 72,000 channels and the millions of other channels, which has been kind of, the karmic wind has been polluted. So in other way to say, like our karmic body was forced from the last life karmic wind. So in order to kind of make it this two bindu like a more what do you call, softer or more gentle or more losing the strength, the very first thing is that you have to first work with your channels and work with your winds and work with your bindu. So the prostration and doing this, as I told you in the first video, the prostration and the reciting of the mantra is normally you're working with the three the body channels, the overall channels. So that's why when you doing the whole prostration, and then the recitation is working with the wind and purifying, and then when you visualize, you're working with the bindu and mind. In the very at that time, bindu and wind is working, not that emphasizing, but more the overall channel. So when you come to the second part, which is the Vajrasattva, so when you look at the Vajrasattva, you have to visualize Vajrasattva as a white, and then before it's above, and then it's kind of the white nectar, and then it enters into central channel, and it's melting, and then it's melt and purified. Of course, normally when the outer explanation is more like you will purify for many lifetime, and this and that karmic. But what you're really doing from, if you look at from the preparing for the Mahamudra, so you're more emphasizing on the white bindu. So you're making white bindu to be more flexible or losing the strength, and kind of training the white bindu to kind of drop down. And then as soon as white bindu is kind of totally, now you have a confidence, it is kind of dropping down, and everything is working nicely. And then the third one, the mandala. Mandala is mostly focusing on the red bindu.